Hi, my name is Matt Garnes, and I'm a senior at Northeastern University studying computer science. And I decided to undertake the Million Hearts Risk Check Challenge. What I decided to do was create a web application because I wanted to reach the largest number of people possible. And I really like web applications because they can be used by anyone with a computer that has internet access and also on smartphones and tablets that have browsers. So let's jump right in. This is Heart Health. This is the home page where right away what I try to do is lay out some information about why a user might want to find their risk of having a heart attack. You can see that the two supported languages are Spanish, and if you click here, everything gets translated to Spanish. And back to English. I have the ability to add multiple translations to other languages if needed. Um, so basically, the first thing is just beginning the assessment. So users will be taken to the register page where they can register. If all they need is an email address because I don't want there to be a big barrier to registering. Registering will allow the user to save all of their information for the survey, or rather the assessment, and the results that they get. If they don't want to register, they can still take the assessment anonymously by clicking this link right here. However, all the information they input still gets stored in a database, so we can still tell how users are interacting with the application. So I'm going to go ahead and register here. That will go through, and it sends you an email. And that looks like this with an activation link to make sure that users are actually entering valid email addresses. So then the next step is to begin the assessment. So what we can do here is enter in some information. I chose a wizard style format because I wanted to make this really feel like a dialogue with the user. I want there to be I want it to feel really easy to use, and for the user not to get overwhelmed by a large number of inputs right away. So we'll just enter in some information here for a rather unhealthy user. That's what I've chosen to demonstrate here today. This guy is a smoker. He's never had a heart attack though, never had a stroke, and he does not have diabetes. So you click assess your risk, and that immediately launches you into the results page. I really want this experience to be very simple and very linear, that the user just sees exactly what we want them to see in the right order, so there's nothing confusing about it. So right away, the user sees their risk estimate. And the first thing that this guy gets is an alert that it's urgent that he gets a screening test because his risk could be really high. There's a button for him to enter the screening test information if he has it, or to search for the testing locations. All the worst case information is displayed here as kind of an extra motivator to get people to get their biomarkers tested. The rating scale is shown right here, and this guy that I entered in ranks extremely high. There's a range of the risk, a comparison with the healthy person, and the percentile for this particular user. They can learn more about what that means if they choose to. Then they can click on what to do next, and there's a simple 1, 2, 3 list about what they need to do. So the first thing is to get their cholesterol levels and blood pressure from the screening test, and there's a link to do that. After that, they're going to enter the results to receive the full assessment, and then after that, they can enter the additional details to get an even more accurate assessment. So now the user has reached the point where they've filled out the basic survey, but what we really need to do right now is convince them to get a screening test done and get their biomarkers recorded. So one of the most exciting parts about my application is the way that it handles that motivation. And it does that by sending emails to any registered user that completes the basic assessment but hasn't yet completed the screening uh, information portion of the assessment. So starting at 1 week after taking the basic assessment, again at 2 weeks, and again a month later if they still haven't entered in their screening test information, the user will get a friendly reminder email that's personalized about them. It tells them how long they took the survey, how long ago they took the survey, explains why it's important to get the screening test done, and if they've actually been on the webpage and chosen a preferred location that I'll get to now, it actually includes the address of the location and a link to directions to how to get there. So I think this is a really important part of the application, is these emails that motivate a user. So moving on, how users find screening test locations can be gotten to right here or up here in the toolbar. You click locate a screening location, and one of the first things that happens is the browser asks you if you want to share your location. So I'm using the HTML5 location capabilities of modern browsers, and this is especially important because on mobile phones this will actually be able to pinpoint a user wherever they are, which is really cool. So you click share location and the browser is going to be able to find me in Boston, but SureScripts isn't providing any locations here, except for one that I found. You can actually increase the range here up to, let's say, 15 miles, and there's one over here in Winthrop. But anyway, so what we're going to do is search for locations where there is actually testing data to demo this a little better. So if we search in Minneapolis, Minnesota, you'll see a whole bunch of locations here. You can go around the map and see how far away they are. If you click on a dot, you can see it in the list. You can locate them this way. There's all your locations, and what this is actually doing is hitting my server that pulls down information from the SureScripts API and also mixes that with the flat file results that have been provided. So I can demonstrate that here really easily. So this is the file that you provided us with the dummy information, all marked with flat file. And you can see here that those don't show up in my search results. But if I go ahead and run a quick script that loads them all into the database, they're all added. And now if I go back to the application and search Minneapolis again, you'll see the first result, 0.4 miles away, is one of the flat file ones. And the other locations are mixed in there. So here's another flat file location. So another feature is you can set your preferred location if you're logged in, and that'll give you some information about the location. You can click a link to get directions, and that will go from where you searched to where the address is. So I thought that was a useful feature. There's information about what you need to ask for at the testing location and about where you can enter that information after you have it done. So you can hit save this location. If you want to come back and see it later, you can click view my preferred location, and that will always display just the one location that you've picked as your preferred location. And also, if you set a preferred location in the reminder email that you receive, you'll have a link to directions and also the address and phone number of the location you chose. Alright, so assuming the user has gone and gotten their screening test, now they can come back to the website to fill it in. Just click on Take the Assessment again, and now a new option is available. Screening test results. That appears as soon as you finish the first part, basic information. So let's put in some biomarker results. 150 over 96. Total cholesterol, we'll put that at 200. HDL, we'll put that at 41, and LDL 130. Now, I want to demonstrate what happens if you enter in an incorrect value. Let's say 400 for total. That's really wrong, and the Archimedes API will actually return you a specific warning to what the problem was. So right here you get a warning, your cholesterol values are unusual. You can either save and continue, see what happens, or cancel. So let's cancel, change that back to 200. And now you can submit, and that should go right through, no problem. And it brings you immediately to the enter additional details page, because I want to get the user to just fill out this section, and I figured that was the best way to do it. So let's just put in some info here. Let's say we do 1 hour of exercise, another hour of vigorous exercise, and no for this answer. Assess my risk. Now this loads your full risk analysis, and what this is going to show you is exactly all of this data, more so than the estimated risk analysis. So it says that this person is very high risk. The heart attack and stroke risk is 5%. The risk comparison is 2.76 times higher. 82nd risk percentile, elevated blood pressure, elevated cholesterol. It's not good. If they click on reduce your risk, you can see all the information about how the user can reduce their risk. You've got losing weight, smoking, quitting smoking, if that's applicable. That won't show up if it's not, and all of the above. And then there is next steps. So if the user is taking medications, you'll get this message. It talks about working to reduce your risk, discussing with your doctor, and sharing this application with your loved ones is also important. So they can click on Facebook share or Twitter or whatever they want, and that will actually load a share page where they can share that with all their Facebook friends to increase adoption. Another important feature is that the user, when they see their full risk analysis, will be presented with an alert message that tells them specifically how urgent it is that they discuss their risk with their doctor. And this is really important for the final message for the user. So one of the most important features of Heart Health is that it's fully accessible on mobile devices, smartphones, tablets, anything. The website is responsive. So whatever screen size you view it on, it'll look great. So here it is running in the Android emulator. This is what the basic part of the survey looks like. And you can check that out here. And every other page is designed in the same way. Additionally, because it's so mobile friendly, it's really simple to create apps for each app store for Android and iPhone. And also Windows Phone that wrap the website. And I would be able to do that very easily if Heart Health is chosen. Here's an Android app that I created for Heart Health. You can click on it right here, and there's a loading screen while the web page is loaded in the background to make it feel like more of a native application. And you can see that it will load Heart Health, and this is within a native application. And I plan to create more of these, one especially for iOS, if Heart Health is chosen. So the last thing I want to talk about is analytics. Heart Health is completely integrated with Google Analytics, and that provides all kind of information about languages, the location of users, which is particularly important. Here's a rundown of cities. So far, those are the only two where people have used the demo application. You can see what devices users are viewing the website on, their flow through the application, and a whole number of things. And I can create administrator users and assign those to members of Health 2.0 or ONC so that they can view the analytics at any time they want. They can just log in and see how things are going, and that's what I intend to do. I want to thank you for considering Heart Health. Thanks again.